What's up, everybody? Anthony here, Empire Music, empiremusic.com. Phone number at the shop, 412-343-5299. Showing you a new model from Ernie Music Man. This is the Tim Commerford StingRay. This is the passive model. They also offer this in an active model. If you're not familiar with what that means, an active bass takes a battery or two, and you can cut and boost, sometimes just boost, certain frequencies and control the tone that way. With a passive instrument that runs on no battery, you just plug it in. Typically you would have volume and a tone control. In the case of the Tim Commerford, we have a couple other options that we'll get to in a second. The color on this, believe it or not, is called Fight Night White. Gotta love that, right? Nice and aggressive, just like the sound of the instrument and a lot of the music that Tim Commerford's played throughout the years with various acts. Ash body, parchment black parchment guard. What I mean by that, 3-ply pick guard on it. Neodymium magnet humbucking pickup in that. The cool kind of, that I don't use that much, but his signature little thumb rest here, you can raise and lower this with the Phillips head screws on that. Roasted maple neck, nice. That's a nice pairing with the ash body, I think. And then you top that off with an ebony fretboard. So we have a bright, punchy, very heavy on the transient. When I say that, like the front of the note, the attack of the note, get a lot of punch out of that with ebony. But then it's mellowed out ever so slightly beneath that with the roasted maple, and it kind of brought back to life into the body here with the ash. The compensated or the intonated nut that you see on a lot of Music Man basses. I think what's going, in my opinion right now, the best, I don't know why I pointed to my head when I did that, the best tuners in the business here, these, tapered shaft and headed clover tuners are amazing. 3-in-1 layout, matching head cap. I forgot to say this on the other video I did. It has the, which is also becoming kind of a signature thing, is this gun oil satin finished neck. And you can see the hard line there from where the gloss ends and the satin finish begins. All in all, it's a really, really nice bass. Strung through the body. Dig that. Helps the sustain, helps some of the punch. You got the Tim Commerford little logo with a 5-bolt sculpted neck heel on that. I see that on really like all the Music Man stuff, at least the modern stuff. I really like it. And you have the mutes that you can raise and lower here on the bridge. We're gonna keep them in off position for the sake of this video. I dig it. I liked the active one a lot as well. That was super aggressive, like, oh, speaking of aggressive, the string gauge on that, it's a little bit different. And for me, it is a massive thing feel-wise. You have a thick gauge string on this, especially on the D and G string. It is a 50, 75, 85, 105. So I'm used to 85 and 105. That's not that weird, but 75 and 50 to me are like really, really heavy strings. And I feel it when I'm playing, splits on both hands, but plucking and really on the fretting hand too. It does take some more force to get that string down. I'm definitely noticing some fatigue in shooting, doing these videos back to back. I like the sound that it provides, but it's a big adjustment to me that likes not a crazy light string, but I've been playing low tension flats. This would be considered high tension rounds, so it's very opposite from what I'm used to. So that for me is I gotta wrap my head and my fingers around that. So control layout wise, like I said, a little bit different than your standard passive bass because it's interesting there. So you have this volume knob, and this is a push-push volume knob, as you'll see here. I'll let you hear what that's doing in a second. And then you have your tone control, so standard tone control. Then you have this little three-way control here, this three-way potentiometer. And what we're doing there is changing the coil configuration or output path from the pickup. So it's kind of cool. In position, I guess we would call this position 1, this way. We're in parallel, kind of standard Music Man thing. Middle position, front coil. So it's just like kind of a thins out single coil kind of sound. I'm not going to say it sounds like a P bass. It really doesn't. It sounds like kind of a back pickup jazz bass at that point, bridge pickup, but it's that coil's still a little different in the proximity to the bridge. So it's almost like this hybrid single coil jazz bass sound, single pickup jazz bass sound, I should say. And then in position 3, now we're in both coils in series. So you sort of have like the really close proximity 2 jazz bass pickups going on there. It's pretty interesting when we get into that. And then this push knob is a volume boost, a passive volume boost. And what I was doing in the intro there, oh, and I forgot to say this on the active video. I'm going to say it on this with the passive bass. Standard, and I think everyone will assume this if you know the Music Man thing, which I'm still learning. It's an 11-inch fretboard radius, which seems to be pretty par for the course with the modern StingRay stuff. So when I was playing in the intro there, I had the boost on. To me, that felt more at home volume-wise. I don't know why I thought that. It just seemed like you really had a considerable volume cut out of it. Maybe just where I had the amp, or the fact that I'm going to point at it even though it's not on camera. The active bass is sitting right over here. I just played that, and that thing is loud. So I'm probably basing that because I'm literally going from A to B here with a really loud bass to a passive bass, right? So let's start there. Position 1, so parallel, full volume, full tone, bass volume or bass boost off. Those strings strike me again, those heavy strings. You hear a tone difference with those strings too than from what I'm used to, because there's just not as much. They're just not as slinky. It's kind of interesting how piercing they are, even on a passive bass like this. I kind of like what it gives me tonally out, especially out of that D string. An 85D is pretty heavy. Or I'm sorry, a 75D is pretty heavy. Now let's engage that volume boost. So off, on. It's not crazy, but it's definitely there. There's definitely a few dB like boosted on that. Does it change the tone? In the room, as I perceive it, it does change the tone a little bit. Now, I don't know if, again, the string gauge just has me really thrown off from, my reference points, but I feel like it adds a little bit of mid-range to it. So here's off. Here's on. Yeah, now I don't know if that boost is just bringing up some character that just isn't as present, but I guess you can't argue with the fact that it does sound change. I'm gonna do that one more time. Off. And boosted. Yeah, I think there's no doubt we're adding some mid-range to that, right? So let's take the boost off and let's go through some of those pickup positions on it. So here's parallel. And here's that single coil thing. Let's add that boost to that now. I'm leaving the boost on for the rest of this video. To me, again, I don't know if it's just an amp thing, but it just sounds, actually, I'm not going to leave it on for the whole video. We'll go back and forth, but I do like it with the boost on. So again, the boost is on and parallel. Single coil. And then series. And I have a feeling I'm gonna take that boost off again. We're gonna have a low signal in series here. Single coil. And parallel. So okay, things are kind of opening up here. Why they did it, because you really kind of need that boost in the single coil and the series mode. I really like the sound of the series. It's like a powerful jazz bridge pickup, and then like a weaker, I don't mean that in a bad way, it's kind of is a different tone, a weaker jazz bridge pickup. It almost sounds like a P pickup pushed back. But if we roll some tone off on that, that's cool. I dig that. And then series. Little like upper mid-range, a little bit of treble punch to it, even with tone considerably rolled off. I really can't overstate how weird the D-string tension feels to me. Actually, both treble strings, the D and the A, I'm just not used to that heavy of a string. And then we're still gonna keep that tone rolled off, go back to series. Now it sounds dark. And those two modes, 2 and 3, so single coil and series, really brighten up. Even though we get volume boost from parallel, that does darken the tone. Takes a little bit getting used to, but there's a really nice kind of tonal set that goes on with this passive Commerford model. I dig it. So let's go back full tone, boost on. Let's go through those sounds again. Single coil. And then series. And then one last time in a parallel. And that's a good position to show that volume jump or boost that is available to you. I think it's almost necessary in modes or positions 2 and 3. I think it could be at your discretion in position 1. That's off, here's on. So it's interesting. It's a very, very nice counterpart to what you get out of the passive bass, which is that's probably as in your face of a bass as I've ever heard. I mean, it is aggressive, punchy. Even when you try to mellow the I might have said that wrong, the active bass. This is the passive. The active bass is one of the most aggressive basses I've ever played in my life, hands down. This has some, even at its most aggressive, it still has a mellow character to it. But when we start moving the positions into single coil and series, you really can finesse out some more delicate sounds out of it, which isn't something you would associate with Tim Commerford, but I think it speaks to his level of attention to tone. And there is a level of versatility or layers of versatility that I think his playing style and some of the genres that he plays in, even though I would associate it heavy on the rock side, you do need some versatility to it. So between these two basses, there's a mountain of tones. Go from very, very aggressive on the active side, and again, I keep referencing it because it's sitting over here, I know you can't see it, to something, again, a little bit more delicate and, dare I say, elegant on the passive bass here. So very, very cool. And I mean, come on, it's the coolest finish ever in Fight Night White, right? I mean, come on. The Tim Commerford Passive StingRay bass. This is new from Ernie Ball Music Man. We're happy to see this line and this bass in particular here in the shop at Empire Music. Give us a call, 412-343-5299. As always, if you have any questions at all, thanks for watching.